Hello,
Works for me.
You get a lot of people streaming online to watch.
Brendan.
Curious.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but
I-
Brendan's here, so he doesn't have to do it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever looked up and seen somebody actively watching us while we've had the meeting. And I think our highest viewed meeting has 16 views.
Hmm.
And I think about half of those were mine because I was like using it to
Probably, yeah.
figure stuff out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not too many right now. So,
Here,
Person I
you
know
can
of
see
is
what the
Brendan.
attendance is, so. And they're related, so fire department and also part of the family, so.
He's obligated to come.
yeah,
Yeah, my son and
I
grandson.
hope we start doing some outreach and getting people more involved again. Building
Well,
stuff up.
and I'll talk about that in the meeting, but that's probably my biggest strength is marketing and promotion. And like my husband and I said, we own a wood shop and we have a video that's hitting 22 million views right now. So yeah, so I will say that if there's anything I can say is that I know how to promote
What's the name of the wood shop?
TD's Badass Creations. It's ridiculous. I didn't come up with the name. I don't own it. During COVID, we both lost our jobs, and I had COVID, and I was in the hospital. I was really sick, and so during that time, we're both from Benton County. So, like a true Benton County farmer kid, that guy gets taught himself. He says, "I'm gonna start selling wood." I don't know why. He picked wood. They started selling out of our garage. He took our business money, and after 6 weeks, I was able to kind of get out of whatever it is, and I'm like, why do I hear people? Why do I hear planers and sawing? Like, what's happening? And I went and there's all this wood in our house. Like literally, like my furniture's upside down. And then got these little hand crawled sign that says "Welcome to our wood shop." I'm like, what is all this? He's like, it's our business. Do these badass groups? I'm like, TD is my initials, Tom Deno. These are for these nuts and badass. Everything make us badass. I'm like, nuts. Is this the video of that little African American boy that like that prank calls people? He's like, yeah, I didn't know that. And and I'm like, oh, Maryland's never going to prove your business. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh my God, you're so negative. No wonder they let you go. I'm like, so I just let him do his thing. I'm thinking, oh, we're going to get back to our jobs, blah, blah, blah. Well, May came June and July. So I like, we're not getting our jobs back. So I went to him and said, okay, I'm going to help you get your business started. Because, that's what I do. I have a law degree, an MBA, and that's my thing. And he's like, well, I need an interview. So I was like, he's like, well, he said that they did let you go. He's like, and have you still looked before? I'm like, I haven't. I'll start you as your assistant. And so I started low runs of our business and slowly working my way up. So yeah. But I told him, I said, come, you said you've got until and then that's when we were in Maryland. We moved back 2 years ago to take over his dad's farm.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, when we move back, you get 1 more year of me. That's it, 1 more year. Because he plays with me every day. Like he does something to like make my eye twitch, right? I said until November 2025, that's your year, buddy. And after that, and that's when I got the job. So right now he's still in like the first day, January 5th was my first day. That night or that day he texts me, he says, I'm selling everything I can. I'm auctioning it off at Boswell Trade Center and I'm gonna go whole grain for Pat Doyle. I'm like, okay, you're not gonna go whole grain. You can run the business. He said, well, I don't know anything. You don't show anything. I said, I show everything. And there's a policy procedure manual, like 36. Of course, you wrote a policy procedure manual. So he's
Takes a while.
yeah, it's funny though, because now he's saying, he's like, you've done a lot of work here. I'm like, I did, didn't I? So, funny how that works.
Yeah.
So
Padre, you want to give Steve or Sue a call?
No.
7 then.
Yeah, we'll start and when it's time, we'll start the meeting and if she comes in, then fine. We'll deal with that down the road here.
Yeah, not too much longer. We'll find somebody.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Dad, did you tell Russ?
about Chen and
Yeah.
Sam, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him about it. So, and then Frankie's working on the letter for Sue so she can just sign it. That way she doesn't have to do any typing of it.
Yep.
Because I'm real sure she wants totally out of and done with it. Sleep. Phone keeps going to sleep. There it is. Okay, let's do the pledge, please. Ready? Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, call a State Line City Town Board meeting, regular meeting to order on the 12th, at 7 PM. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Frankie. And let's see, call to order, call the meeting order. Roll call. Greg Robinson here. Russ Rudolph is here. Sue Van Pelt is not. Frank Robinson is. We do have some public, we have any public comment? Nope. Okay. So, approval of minutes.
Don't see any.
It's just-
You have those set right there, by right,
Sitting
sitting on the table.
Just one?
Yeah.
Oh. Please print off more than one.
Okay.
By the way, in Sue's place over here, Frankie, is the estimate for the generator stuff. I gave Russ a copy already.
I'll make a motion, we accept it, it's printed.
Okay,
I didn't see anything.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 2-0. Approved. Okay, Clerk Treasurer's report.
Nothing to report at this time.
Okay,
Okay,
old business, generator pad and town hall electric. Okay, you've got the bid in front of you that I got finally from Scott Williamson. And it's Performance Mechanical. The generator itself, hooking it up, is $57.90. And then the 2400 is for the extra outlets. And what I told him was, I want across the back there, I think it's 3 circuits, 3 more circuits. Besides what's there, I want 3 separate circuits back there. And then going down the wall here, I wanted 3 circuits, I think, yeah. No, 4 circuits.
You got 7 total.
I know I got 7 for it. Maybe it was 3, and 1 behind me. I didn't want anything on the window side. So at any rate, I know it goes on that wall and this wall. We might have 1 or 2 on this wall too.
using the same breaker box.
Yeah, everything goes
Yeah.
back to there. He'll wire everything back
Yeah.
there, but they're all individual circuits. It's a 2 gang box
Right,
with a circuit.
Yeah.
So, but he won't mess with that circuit that's already there. That's 1 circuit there, and he won't mess with any of this
that's
circuit.
why
It's all
it's
added.
on a bunch of circuits.
Right, when, like during Christmas, Halloween, when we're
Right.
setting up our cookers and stuff, we won't hot stuff.
Yep.
And so anyway, that's what that 24 is for, is the extra outlets.
Lighting the materials.
Yeah, he's providing all the materials. The only thing that probably isn't in here. Yeah, and that's gonna be the propane. Of course, we have to get a
Right.
tank, and we'll have whoever, well, Keystone's who we're working with.
Right,
So
they'll put it in.
we'll have them put the tank in and run over and run it to the generator, and then
Yep.
he'll hook it probably, I guess, from the generator to the regulator, be my guess.
Yeah.
So. But this, as you can see, includes the transfer switch and all that stuff.
Mhm. We have the money in the accounts that we can transfer over and pay for $8,190. I'll make a motion, we'll go ahead and accept the bid and have them get it set up
Okay. I'll
before
sec-
we get caught with it.
I agree. I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. So Frank, you want me to forward the email to you and you can coordinate with him on payment and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. Do that. Road signs, whether SORTA's breaking.
Yeah.
Goes from one thing to another, from
Yep.
freezing to summer to freezing again, so we'll get the road signs done here shortly, I'm sure. When the weather clears. I don't have anything else on those, do you?
No, we've got the stop sign and the street marker on Woodard and
East.
East.
Yep.
And I straightened the one up out there
On State Line.
on State Line Road.
Right,
I need to change the kids playing sign
right.
because it's faded out.
Okay.
That's the main ones. And then the two firehouse signs up.
Yeah, I need to get them up. This one is clear. We can drive it in. There's nothing where it goes out here. It's the one over by Heather's house that I'm worried about
Yes.
because I got fiber there.
You want to?
I can mark it and call it in.
Yeah.
I'll mark it
Okay.
and call it in.
Okay. I'll let you.
Fuel tanks. Yeah, I got outbid again, so I knew I would because
Yep.
they were simple tanks and they would have been easy to put in, but
Yep.
I went up to 400 per tank and they ended
Yeah,
up going for
yeah,
9.
yeah.
So farmers are wanting them, so they're hard to get. Tree trimming, nothing new. Jackson Street property, we need to figure out next step with that. Do we want to go ahead and see if we can hire some help to start cleaning the property up, or do you want to try to get quotes for contract or?
I will say that I did look at it the other day and one of the walls is bulging out. So at this point, I'd say the house probably is structurally a loss.
Mm.
So we could go ahead and instead of planning on trying to clean it up and sell it as is, we can go straight to it needs to be tore down.
Well, what I was thinking on that too is talk to Tyson or to Scott and see if the town could use their excavator like we did over here,
Yeah.
and we just get dumpsters.
Yeah.
We can, I can run, if they'll let me run the excavator, I can fill the dumpster and have it haul away, fill the dumpster, have it haul away.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the cheapest for the town.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Russ?
We probably still want to hire like 1 or 2 hands to help with like maybe, reach out to Caleb, see if he wants to help.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can always look. We're gonna need some help in town anyway, like for the park and stuff like that, so.
Right.
Try to find somebody that wants to earn some money.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do then. I'll look into that and see if we can start setting something up. And we might be able to work a deal with TNS, so when we get the dumpsters from,
Yeah.
maybe they'll give us a break on multiple dumpsters. Bring it in, taking it out, bringing it in, taking it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what deal we can work out.
Yep, sounds good. We've got a piece of property the town bought. It went up for taxes and it actually, guy in Florida, Gupta, that always buys the stuff, he bought it, but we talked him into just getting it back to us because it becomes a real,
I know, I came in 2 weeks, when you first called me, I came in that set Friday, just drove around, just
Yeah.
take pictures, and
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
yeah.
about.
So anyway, it's ours now and we're trying to figure out how to clean it up so that we can do something with the lot.
Make it more sightly.
Yeah,
Important.
municipal and office contract. Oh, well, no, nothing new yet. Donnie's just about cleaned up Mom's, finished.
Okay.
So I'll stay on top of him and maybe we'll get something done there. Burn pile signage, I haven't done anything. Frankie, did you ever? Or no, it was Russ. You were gonna. No, okay. So nothing on signage yet. for the burn
I need
pile.
to see Sean for signage.
See about metal signage and,
Yeah.
well, I know it. I was supposed to give you a writing what I wanted. That's right. That's my fault. So, okay, I'll get it to you. Park update.
Still there.
It's still there. The only thing I will add on the park, since we got it down here, is at the meeting last night, Scott brought up, Hunter, the fire chief, brought up that they're trying to put an auxiliary together. And he talked about maybe, once again, he brought up the old fun day stuff and using the park and stuff. So if they're starting to look into that kind of stuff, we probably need to start looking into getting our electric back up to date and getting the post replaced. and
Replaced, yeah.
getting the park back up so it's suitable for that
For a
type
fun
of
day.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
For activities.
right, for activities, right. So we need to keep that on our agenda for the park. Facebook, I was gonna talk to Steve and try to get the password and stuff to take over control of it.
Mm.
He's not here, so nothing there. Any other old business?
So you all do have a Facebook page, because I've been looking for it.
Yeah,
what's the
state line events.
Statewide community events.
Yeah, state line community events. That's what it is.
I do not, can't think of anything right now.
Okay. Um, just, well, that'll be under new business. Okay, no other old business, new business. Before I get to Lido, I'm gonna real quick throw in here. Um, furnace went out.
Really?
And yeah, Frank and Sarah were down here working on paperwork and stuff. And they come up and said, man, it's stinking. There was smoke in the thing. And so I don't know what's going on. So I called Blackie's. They were due to service anyway, because they serviced everything, my house and everything. Anyway, so I called Blackie's. Dwayne came out, looked at it the next day, and the whole board in the furnace burned up. He said, since we hadn't had any storms before then, he says, I don't know what caused that. But I mean, it fried the circuit board. So he had to order one. One came in. He came in. He put it in. It was funny because when we got here, Frankie had shut everything off because
Mhm.
we were worried about it with the smoking. When we got here, when Dwayne and I got here, it was 85 in here and the thing was running and it was turned off. So Dwayne right away, he pulled the meter off the thing and it still kept running. And we got out there and he shut the breaker off and he got in there and
Jeez.
he come back. He says, I'm leaving it all unplugged. He said, I ain't turning it back on. He said, that's nasty.
Mm.
So anyway, he did get it all fixed. It's now working. So yeah, he said, I don't know what caused it to do that. He says, usually we get a lightning strike or something,
Yeah.
or a power surge. We hadn't even had any power
Did you
outages. So
find any evidence, any like rodents getting in there?
no, that's what he looks for all that stuff. And he could not come up with a reason why that happened. But he said, well, he said he got it all cleaned up and put back together and got the new parts put in.
Okay.
So anyway, so it's up and running. And while we're doing it, we had a tornado siren test
Yeah.
Tuesday. It did not go off. Jim knows about it. And I told Jim at the meeting last night, he's gonna get with the siren people and with dispatch to get it figured out, to get it fixed. I said, when the siren people are here, Phil and Ken were supposed to put a switch at the bottom of that pole like we had over there
Yes.
that we could activate it. In case dispatch falls asleep, their button doesn't work, whatever, we can come down here real quick and we set the siren off. I said, the town will pay for that switch, but I need it put in. So he's gonna have them do that. So down the road, we'll probably have a bill on that.
Who did you say that is? It's looking into that.
Jim Morrison. He's the EMA director for Warren County.
Okay.
Okay. It's Morrison.
Morrison.
It's
Morrison.
Not Morrison, Morrison.
Morrison. Yeah. It's,
M-O-R-S-O-N.
yes. Morrison. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. He got me on that. I'm sorry. So, anyway, Jim's handling that. That's on the siren. Anything in else in new business besides Heather?
Not that I know of.
Okay, Heather,
Okay.
it's your turn.
For inviting me. My name's Heather Ditto. I'm the new economic director here in Warren County. I started January 5th. My background is that I am a Indiana girl, grew up in Benton County my whole life. My great grandparents first settled in Warren County back in the early 1900s near Rainsville.
We won't hold that.
Well, they were, but that's why I say, originally I'm from Warren. My great grandparents, they settled in Rainsville, but then bought a farm up in Boswell. And so,
Sitting up there, we won't hold it.
yeah. My husband's also a Geno, so don't hold that against me. You know, any Genos in Benton County. But anyway, my whole career has always been about community development, economic development. I worked at one time at Purdue University for the Small Business Development Center, so small businesses are near and dear to my heart. And then my husband and I also own a small business in Oxford. And so I was asked to be here today by Russ. He gave me a call and said that you all were considering or asking questions about this, shutting down the city dissolution. And so what I've done, I did a bunch of research on the town itself. I actually came here, toured the town, took some pictures, went online, took a bunch of research. I also went on to Gateway, I did a 5-year financial analysis of the town finances. And I have a lot of questions. And so if it's okay, I'd just like to start asking questions. So I guess where I want to start first is, and I think I might know the answer, but sometimes you know what they say when you assume you make an ass out of you. So I guess the first thing is what has led you to start this discussion? Like what was is there reasons behind it?
The dissolution.
Correct.
It, what comes from it is, Russ, of course, has been on the board the longest. And then, of course, then I came in, and Russ and I, for the longest time, were the only two here. We finally got Leela, lady that has passed since, that was here for a long time, and she was on as clerk. We talked Steve into taking, Steve Anfeld to take it. And anyway, long story. We had it board, full board, and just trying with our tax base locked and not being able to get any additional funds. Roads are in bad shape. I keep trying and working towards crossing grants, and there's a lot to that. It takes a lot of time. Our pay, the board members' pay, when I first started, was nothing. Even the clerk was nothing.
I
We were the lowest of the,
concerned about that.
yeah, right. We were the lowest. Steve and I went to a couple of meetings, state meetings, and we were laughed at because,
No, I looked that up too. and
yeah,
that's
and people just don't, everybody around here, of course, you know, we make $50,000 a year sitting on this board.
Right.
So, and all the vacations we take and everything are paid for by this town. You know, so at any
No, I
rate.
want to know.
Right.
Yeah.
So at any rate, with all that going on and everything in the past, and then just beating our head against the board, that's probably one of the reasons that Sue stepped off. Though Steve gave up, Steve's health wasn't the best, and he stepped off. And then that's when Frank came in, and then Sue, it only lasted a couple months longer, 3-4 months longer, and then she's finally like, yeah, I'm gonna step off too. We want to do other things. So
Mhm.
I would
That's-
say probably the most direct answer to your question is when I took over the clerk position and started looking into our finances and everything,
Mhm.
I saw that we haven't been keeping up with raising things that we should be raising over
Right,
the
yep,
year.
that's exactly it.
And so we've kind of fallen behind in that respect. Now we're in a bit of a catch-22 where we have to try to get something started to fund it without the funding to get something started to
Yep,
fund it.
yep.
So
Exactly.
and
So
with the
that's what-
things happening up here, it makes it even worse.
Yeah. grants becoming a bit more difficult to funding shrinking up. That's what started that conversation.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's exactly what I thought. I mean, you know, I said I have to read between the lines. I suspected that, you know, that you had trouble getting people to be participating, and that's not a state line city problem. It's not a Warren County problem. That is just a societal problem. I mean, everybody, you know, in the country is having that issue. It's just it's a generational thing. It's a cultural thing, you know, and you know, there's ways to combat that, but that's gonna be, that's not something we can solve in one day. You know, when I saw the
I don't think
finance,
it is can be solved in one day.
no, right, yeah, exactly.
Unless somebody comes walking that door with a couple $1 billion.
When I looked at the finances, I saw you had no debt, which is great. So that's amazing. But yeah, I've noticed that, you know, that you're starting to get more and more into your discretionary funds. And what really concerned me was you have very little city pay for employees, right? And that's going to lead to burnout very, very quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and
Well, that's what, right now, the snow plowing and stuff. Well, and now him, but between Russ and I, we're the ones that have been plowing snow for 10 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the town works
That's the
around
problem.
this.
Yeah, and that's what I suspected. A lot of your work in the town. My grandmother was a town clerk of Boswell for years and years and years. And my grandpa was a bailiff at the courthouse, and you know, so I've been around
But you guys,
county,
it's fire call.
the big. And so, yeah, so that also concerns me because if you can only rely on volunteers for so, and it's usually the same people over and over again that
Yeah.
are doing it all. The other thing I noticed is that the annual report for 2025 hasn't been filed yet.
So I'm currently working on getting the finances caught up.
Okay.
I inherited the Excel spreadsheet booking system, so
Gotcha.
working with that is a bit difficult.
Totally understand. I just, you know, it was, for me, it was just a red flag,
Yes.
you know, and I knew you'd always followed the file before, so I knew there's probably an answer. So simple answer.
And he's been talking with state. And
Yeah.
Sure.
he's working with them.
So when I was looking at your finances, you know, like I said, you don't have any debt, which is really good. The problem is you don't have a lot of liquidity. So that makes it tight. You don't have really good cash flow. You also, your operating ratio, is also really, really tight. You're basically spending what you're bringing in. So while you're kind of basically limping along,
Yep.
and that's gonna really hinder you, to grow, or God forbid something happens. So there's that. So, okay, so when it comes to leadership roles, we talked about you only, it's slim. What think, are there candidates out there that you think would be interested, or like what have you done up to this point to try to recruit, beg, borrow?
As you heard earlier,
Mhm.
I talked to somebody in town. We try in our minds, we try to figure somebody in town that would be interested
Right.
and outside the family pool and, try to get somebody like that interested. I've approached somebody, Frankie's approached somebody.
We've approached.
We have approached other people that flat out said no.
Mhm.
But these people, the one I talked to, his mother said that she was going to talk to him because she thinks she can talk him into coming over. So we're hopeful there. As far as Sam Moore goes, don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Frank does with that.
Mhm.
But Sam Moore, of course, he's an older person too. He's not a youngster. Chen is youngster. He's be good to get on the board because he'd have plenty of time.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and mention that the idea behind getting Sam is he's actually an individual with a background in reaching out to people and finding people who are interested in stuff like this. Exactly. So he'd be a person who could help us find people.
Yeah.
And he is qualified in his own right to hold position as well. And then also what we were talking about taking over the Facebook page, once we have control of that, then we'll be doing advertising on there as well.
Yeah.
for the Position.
Yeah.
And we've also discussed having some type of essentially open town hall to invite people in to then talk about some
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
Part of my background is helping organizations, turn the right side up, that are upside down. So that's kind of my background. And what I found that, instead of trying to get somebody to be all in a board position, start them off like baby steps and maybe just have them, volunteer to help the park and just kind of ease them into it. And then that way they kind of, then start to, like a frog in water, you don't want to jump them in the what is boiling, kind of ease them into it. Anyway, so we answered my question about clerk positions. In administrative responsibilities, okay. So as far as infrastructure and services, I know that the firehouse, that's run by West Lebanon. Okay? And you all have no sewers and no water. Okay, all right. As far as what the town owns, is just this building.
This building and the building on the corner, it's the old firehouse.
Okay,
And
the one
then-
with the new mural on it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that we own we own that building, and then there's a truck and tractor inside, and we own that too. And then like that property we just told you about, we bought that property too.
And that building, that's just for storage of vehicles?
Yes. Yes, right
Yeah.
now, yes. Yeah, we've only had it for a year, maybe a year and a little over a year. And
more than that.
it's been totally retuck pointed on the outside. We had that done. We had new windows redone, the windows done, roof was already in good shape. The front door was replaced, the side door was replaced, and we poured a whole new floor in it. Because when it was a firehouse, backing those heavy fire trucks in there and everything, the floor sort of gave way.
Sure.
And it was funny because when we took the old floor out, some parts of the floor were less than 2 inches thick.
Oh my gosh.
So no wonder that truck caved it in. So at any rate, and he fell, I think it was you fell, wasn't it? Yeah, Keith fell getting in fire truck. So anyway, that building has been refurbished and is in real good shape. We don't have it totally finished. There's the second floor. That's what was on the agenda about municipal building. We call it the municipal building. It needs some more work to be
So what
done
are
to
your
it.
plans for the upstairs?
At this time, nothing. I'm just to get it done. It'll be storage, because there's no outside access to the upstairs. It used to be, but there is none. It goes from a stairs on the inside and it just to be used for anything other than storage. I don't know that you'd do it.
Okay. As far as the community itself, have you all talked to the residents here about shutting down or found out, have they?
No, it has never made it that far. It hasn't made it that
It
far.
was, yeah, we've literally just made it to the talking about it a little bit.
Okay, okay. Do you feel like there are community members that would be interested, maybe not in his board position, but at least being part of the community revitalization?
Probably.
Okay,
Yeah, probably.
so there's probably.
Some of them.
You don't know. And that's why when he was talking about having a open house here and inviting everybody, the letter of invitation would probably let them know. The reason we're having this is because, so that's what we were thinking about when we were saying open house.
Right, and you all may know, I don't know, but do you understand what happens if you shut down the city, do a dissolution, and
No, I mean, we hadn't got to that point. It can't be good, but
it's not.
No.
Yeah, so basically what happens is anything that the town owns is gonna revert to the county.
Right.
And so basically, the township, Kent Township will take over. The biggest drawback, is that if it's bad now about who's gonna, take care of your roads, it's gonna be even probably that much more challenging. The biggest problem I see is your park. You have a beautiful park, beautiful, beautiful park. Warren County does not have a park system. And so that'll be very challenging for you to, unless your trustee, whoever the township trustee is, would be interested in, using funds to get up that park. And I've looked into, I don't know who does, I just looked up there and I see that they take care of their cemeteries and that's about it.
that's all they do. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you.
And right now we take care of that park. I mean, we pay to have it cut, grass cut and everything and cleaned up, and we pay a person to come over and empty the trash and
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, when we talk about, some ideas that I have, one idea that I have is, so with the township, so you have 800 people in the township and you have anywhere from 93 or 120. I don't know which number is right for State Line City, but they double count. So in the township are also people that live in this town. And so one idea that I had is why can't you ask the township for funds to be taken care of, your parks? Because that's under their purview of in the county. So that's an idea that I had, but but anyway, okay. So okay, from what the question I had is that from what I can see, there's the grain elevator that's outside it.
part of it
Yeah,
is part of it is in town.
So that
A
might
very small part of it.
So that might be another option that we have is annexing that. Maybe also annexing, Sarah Solutions, because right now you have no businesses, right?
Right.
And so when the state, does this property, SB1, you're not gonna have property taxes anymore. They're gonna rely on local income taxes. Well, you don't have any businesses here. You don't have any of that. So if you annex those, that might help. Now I don't know what type of fight that's gonna be. I can only.
I just gonna say, can you imagine what fight that's gonna be, knowing what those new state regulations are?
Correct, I know, right, but that versus shutting down the town, that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not something it's not, I'm not talking negative to it. I'm saying, yeah, I'm all for it.
Right, but I'm saying the county may not be happy about it, and the township may not be happy about it.
There's also another idea I've been looking into a little bit, and I have to do a lot more research into it. But essentially, potentially annexing part or a good chunk of State Line Road. And then using that, because then the township would be on two sides of the grain elevator.
Gotcha,
Plus, we'd be over top of the road that feeds the grain elevator. So we might be in a better position to talk to who owns the grain elevator and say, we can provide road support and things like that in exchange for annexing and something down that lane.
yeah, so that would be another recommendation that I would have,
Okay.
So I guess, look, at the end of the day, so my office, I mean, obviously this is something we want to help with, because it's going to benefit the county as a whole to keep State Line City as a town. But, on the flip side is that, I don't want to I'll be honest with you, I'm going to use all my resources and time and everything if people are just like burn out, right? And there's no one to, there's no one's going to be interested. So I guess, I mean, you can town, is it something, that this is just an idea, you just want to hear, what the pros and cons are, or you're like, yeah, we just don't have anybody, it's a foregone deal.
And that's the thing, is that the step we're looking at is the step to see if we can find somebody.
Okay, okay.
That's where we're at. The step to find somebody. Yeah, we're all tired. Well, at least Tim and I are tired. But we're really interested in trying, because we got somebody young on, and we've got these guys that are interested. And so if we can just get word out to the town and get the input, start letting them know, hey, this isn't looking good.
Yeah.
We need your help, you're complaining about what we do, yet if we don't do it, if we're not here,
Right.
you're gonna be real complaining then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I think would be important for them to understand is that, if the town does go through a dissolution, what the implications are.
Right.
So it'll become,
So that's where we're at. We're not at the point where we're just giving up
Far
on
from a
anything.
foregone thing.
well, and that makes me feel better.
Yes.
Yeah, because like I said, I wasn't sure where you are in that process. So,
We don't want,
No.
we want to keep going. We want
Yes.
to build up.
Really.
okay, well, that's good. Okay, so the some ideas that I had, and these are just ideas.
It's gotta be you. Vibrating.
No, mine keeps going.
So
Oh,
the
okay.
biggest thing, besides getting the people in the town, excited is that we gotta figure out more revenue. Because, it's already tight and, we know what's coming. So, what does that mean? Well, two ways, either you get more households in here, or, you get more businesses in here, right? Well, that's a big thing, right? The other thing is that, sometimes smaller towns, you have, tourism. So what does State Line City have? You are on a city that has Illinois and Indiana. And people love taking a picture when they're standing on, both sides of a state. So, one idea I had is really make that a big deal. And have like a tourist attraction where people can come here to State Line City to take their selfie. Everybody's all about selfies, right? I mean, you think I'm crazy. People will drive from all over just to be able to come like the world's biggest twine and the biggest whatever to come here and say State Line City, they can stand on one leg's on Illinois, one leg's on Indiana and have their picture taken. But then while they're here, they can visit a food truck or have a lemonade stand. We're not talking about, building an Aldi here or a big business, but, if you could get something to start generating, some income, maybe even, a gas station or a truck stop. The other thing, is, the commuter housing, you've got Illinois, people don't like living in Illinois right now, the taxes are super, super high. And you've got Danville, it's only 10 minutes away. So if that, I think, would be your biggest bet is if you can somehow start drawing those residents to come move here to this town. Now, problem is,
That's what a lot of them here are.
yeah, right, yeah. Well, you gotta get more, but where do you get more? You don't have a lot of housing, right? But what you do have is maybe empty lots. And so the more that the town can kind of take over those empty lots, and sell those, to build on, that's how you're gonna get more people to move in. If you get more people to move here, well, then, you need a little business. And that's how you kind of start the ball rolling.
Let me ask you a question real quick. You say we don't have any business here, and I know for a fact we've got, I think, two businesses. You found the one, right?
Well, yes, yeah, two Etsy style businesses, out of the home operation.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you about that. So,
Yeah.
and this is besides the grain elevator, right?
Yes,
Yeah, so I didn't count that. So yes, she has it listed on the Google that she's a museum.
yeah, and then there
She
was,
does crochet.
that one's brand new. I don't
Yeah.
know much about that.
Well,
Okay,
the other one is the old church down here,
Halo Graphics.
the Holographics. That's the other
Yeah.
one.
okay, and that was another one where I wasn't sure if they were open or not. But one thing that's very attractive are, are like little antique and craft stores. That are very attractive for people to come visit. That's something that could be open on the weekends. And that's something where, if you had a town building, that could be, leased out for little or nothing. That way the owner, or whoever could run the business could then, sell the stuff out of there. But that would be another thing that, I would look into is talk to those people about what their business is. And if it's really a true business or if it's just something that more of a hobby, I don't know.
Yeah.
But start helping, encouraging people to do some more entrepreneurship type of things.
Yeah. But Hackett's is definitely a business. I mean, he
Yeah.
takes that trailer everywhere and does stuff. So
I wonder if we could find somebody with a small, recently renovated store space that would be interested in having an antique store.
uh-huh. You talk to your grandmother about that.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
But you need something, I mean, because people here, the town's not gonna keep it going. You need something, you need to have this as a destination or somebody should be attracted here. So people are attracted to like goofy, eccentric things, like taking their picture on, so once they get here, take their picture, then what do they do?
Right.
And like I said, you maybe don't want to have a restaurant, but you can have a food truck. So maybe, maybe that corner where that building is that could be like the food truck corner. And you invite food trucks to come here on the weekend. to set up, that's where the marketing comes in to encourage people to come here. I mean, it's all kind of works together organically, but that's the kind of ideas that I'm thinking about, in order to, that's where we're gonna have to be creative because, as far as other revenue, other than selling t-shirts that says State Line City, I'm not sure what's gonna happen. If that makes sense.
Did you see the Lincoln Stone? Lincoln
That's-
Speed
So
Stone?
that's another thing. Yes, thank you very much. So that's another destination that I would definitely, really hit on.
Lies on.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
That was the reason behind the mural was,
Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. And so that's another photo op opportunity. I mean, because you got to think about, who are the people that are going to be out driving around doing this? It's not going to be, I mean, I'm 56 and I'm even getting to the point where I don't want to ride around anymore, but it's your younger people, right? And the younger people are all about selfies and all about photographs and all about documentation, all about social media. So that's what you have to lean on to think about. And they're the ones also spending money.
turned it into, what is it, Frankie? A Google,
No, you probably need Pokemon Go stop.
yeah.
Exactly.
We do have a couple of Pokemon Go stops in town.
Okay.
Once I get high enough level, I can submit stops, and I will be submitting stops for various places around town, so.
Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, will bring people out here.
And no, we will. That's, but on the other hand,
You guys need to get with him because between all three of you, you guys would go crazy, I'm telling you.
but on the other hand, then there's the, I'm trying to be, I don't want to say how I want to be this. I want to be, nice about this.
Just spit it out.
There are some, okay,
We got thick skins around here.
Yeah.
so there's some domiciles in this area that,
Unfortunate properties.
yeah. So, if we're gonna have this town revitalization and open house or whatever, you gotta figure out what to do about that. I mean,
Yep.
I'm looking at the boarding situation up here on the corner, the Dollar General that's outside. I call it the Dollar General door store.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
That's not ours though.
Yeah.
That's in Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not ours.
that's the problem. I wondered where the,
The road that runs this way, that's State Line Road, Middle, Illinois, Indiana. So State Line City.
yeah,
Technically,
block.
that's 2 speed limits.
2 blocks over.
yeah. Well, maybe you put up a big sign that says, that's not ours. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can,
Seriously.
yeah.
Yeah, we know that. And there's stuff like that that's in our town.
Yes.
And we have been working on that.
So one of the things we've been doing, the property that we acquired along with a few other properties, we've started doing a tall grass ordinance to
Yeah.
address that kind of vegetation issue. We're also now sending out letters for severely cluttered and, trash filled yards. We started doing a town cleanup day twice a year, I believe, right now, to give people the opportunity to get that trash out. So continuing those efforts and just kind of doubling them as we
Yes.
can.
And there's also a couple of buildings that look like they need to be torn down.
And we've talked about that. And that's the next level. And it's like the one we bought. It was at that level that we knew it pretty much needed to more or less probably come down. But once you do that, once you purchase that property and take it away from the owner of it,
Right.
then you do have to demo it. So now you're into a money situation where,
Yeah, well, now that's where, there could be some funding for that through Okra.
Yeah, there is.
They do have money for, for demolition and tearing down structures. So that would be something that we could look into,
I looked into that at the time it came about, and which is several years ago, and it was like 5,000 for a level house and 10,000 for a 2-story house. So, but once again, we got to get into having the request and the process and all
Right,
like that. And Ingrid Barnes is our attorney.
So I know Ingrid very, very well.
Right.
She went to school, I had exchange student, and she and my exchange school cheerleaders and best friends. And Ingrid's dad, is my attorney, and her grandfather was the one who, I used to be an attorney, and he's one who you have to be sponsored to be in the bar.
Oh.
So I'm very, very, in fact, I saw Ingrid the other night, she asked if I was coming tonight.
Yeah.
She didn't know if she had to be here. I said, no, I'm just fact finding. That's all I'm doing. So.
Yeah, I was with her at the BZA meeting.
Yeah.
so.
So, So anyway, so, I've got a bunch of more ideas, that I can come up with, but I guess, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm just gonna ask what questions do you all have? And it's just been overwhelming? Is this something like this one that's crazy, like,
Oh, no.
From my perspective, this is all kind of stuff I was looking into. You've gone further than I have with many of it right now, so I'm very interested in what else you have to say. And
Yeah. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about something huge. I'm talking about maybe, like maybe one roadside attraction, maybe getting one or two little businesses started, and maybe doing an annual festival. I mean, starting off something like that. I think if we do something like that, that's gonna be, at least a start. That's gonna get somebody excited and that's gonna start bringing in a little bit of revenue, just at least because it's like a bicycle, you gotta get that momentum going,
Right.
So we're not talking about, some, huge overwhelming, like bringing in a manufacturing plant here, which is not gonna happen. But
The hard part, when you start trying to get events and stuff going, it takes people to put the events together.
well,
And
exactly.
because my wife and I have done events for many years and
Yes, events are hard.
it's,
I am not, I am the first to tell you, I am not a fit fan, because it is a lot of legwork. But I
Mhm.
think that's where I'm interested in finding out what is the commitment level of your community, and if that's something
yeah,
that.
and that's what we need to find out.
Used to have the park pretty much full in second weekend of August
Uh-huh.
with flea markets.
Okay.
And then we had this whole area, this street here,
Mhm.
pretty much lined up with uh, cars, a car show.
Yep.
And then Sunday afternoon, we had a parade. We finished it off with the parade.
Sure.
But that was the fire department. We actually called it Fun Days, FUN, but it was actually FUND because that's what most of our money for the fire department at that time. That's where it
Yeah.
came from.
Yeah,
Yeah, it takes a lot.
Look at Earl Park. Earl Park's not that much bigger
Right.
as a town as this, and look at that huge festival. That brings in 30,000 people.
But
They
they're on
have-
the highway.
on the highway, and that they also have a lot of volunteers.
Right.
Then they've built that over.
It's built over the years.
So yeah, so the downside is that you don't have a highway here, but the good side is that you've got, the Illinois Indiana
Right.
combo, that's the, oh, that's kind of cool and weird.
Yeah.
And let's do it, so, yeah. Um, so I guess questions.
My biggest question, I guess, how do we save State Line City and make it a little more prosperous?
Yeah.
That's my biggest, I'd personally, I'd like to see city sewers, city water, and some of the streets widened.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah.
they're only one lane now. When I moved here in 75, most of them were two lanes. And now they've encroached.
Right.
The grass is encroached on them.
So to do that, we're talking like the community grant. They do so many community grants, saving every year up to 750,000. But what happens is in your community, you only get once every 5 years. So you're going to be fighting against other people here in Warren County,
Oh.
and not to put you down, but 80 people versus a bigger town, that's going to be, an issue. Now, like what Pine Village is doing, they're using the Ready Grant, and they're actually, partnering with Oxford to get that done, right? So there is, right now Ready is finished. They said they're going to keep doing it. But as far as like community grants through Okra, that's going to be a kind of a big fight against other communities in the county about who's going to get that next big grant.
Yeah.
But that grant is exactly what it does. It pays for water and sewer and roads. The other thing, I mean, I think you asked me where to start. I think where to start is that, you got to get boots on the ground and you got to find out who is going to be interested in doing that. And to do that, but to get people interested, you got to give them a reason to be interested, right? You've got to give them, some reasons to be excited. And how do you do that? Have a part, I don't know, but that's where you need to start. Because you all know your people who live here in this town. I don't know them. But I do know that, when you're starting from ground zero, people aren't just going to show up. And especially even now with this generation, sorry, but it's all about what's in it for me. Our generation was more about service. And I'm not generalizing, you all obviously are different, but
Yes, that's,
but and so you've gotta give them that value added, what's in it for me? It used to be, well, what's in it for you? It's good for civic duty. And when I say that, people look at me like, so,
Yeah, these two here are volunteer firefighters. They know what civic duty is.
right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, this is where we need to brainstorm and figure out, well, what is it what's in it for me? For people to come. Maybe it's, and I'm not a big person about giving money. Maybe it could be something more like, an attaboy, or maybe they get some added I don't know what it is, but you've got to figure out what could be, the carrot on the stick that's going to encourage people to, and then once they start getting engaged, then, it becomes less and less about what is it for me, and it's because it becomes a fun activity. So that's where I think you need to start. Because it doesn't really matter, all the other great things you come up with, if we don't have people that's actually gonna be participating and contributing and finding that person that's gonna be the champion, then it doesn't matter. Not to be cruel, but that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I am more than happy to help out with that effort, help, plan an open house or whatever. That's something that our office can definitely do, and that's definitely something that's in my wheelhouse personally. But it's really gonna be, I'll support. I'm not gonna drive it. Not that I don't want to, but I just feel like, that's not my role.
After the meeting, would you have a few minutes to stick around and maybe we talk about a few more of the ideas and then I can just run some stuff by you?
Absolutely, yeah,
Awesome.
exactly. But but to do all this, you definitely need to have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
That's gonna be critical, because how else you gonna, other than going door to door and passing out a flyer, which not,
And other social media as well. We'll need to set
Yes.
up other stuff too.
yeah, well, and that's another thing, TikTok would be a huge thing.
Yeah.
With my husband's business, we have a website, we also have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And combined, we have about 25,000 followers, and videos. And now here's the other thing. That's another revenue thing, is that if you start getting so many people following, watching your videos, like my husband, well, in Maryland, we were making $2,000 a month just by people watching our videos.
Right.
So, which is stupid. I mean, I was doing the stupidest videos, like, of him, like, yelling about where his glazed chips are. Why are they not Amazon bringing them? I mean, it was just the ridiculous things. And people were just, they watching a video, we're getting paid all this money. Now here, we don't get paid as much because Facebook changed its payment system, but that would be another revenue generating thing that, you all just making, and that's going to be, something that, would attract people to this town.
Yeah.
Because they watched your video, they want to come see what it's about. I know it sounds crazy, but it works.
Yeah.
And that's passive income, but you need somebody to make the videos. But that might be where you get somebody that's a younger person that
Here's some time even.
just go around town making silly videos.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
And then we get the young, and that would also do what's in it for me, because they want the fame and they want to be able to do the videos and give them something to do.
It looks good on a resume.
Yeah.
And it looks good on, right, exactly. Tapping into, Seeger, their internship program. That would be something else I'd recommend. To help. But anyway, I've talked a lot, so I don't know if that answered your question, but that's how you start.
pretty much.
Yes.
Right.
I don't have anything else.
You guys got any questions for?
I'm an idea person. I got lots of ideas, so I try to be mindful and not freak people out.
I had a crap ton of ideas, so. I want to stick around and talk to you for a couple minutes.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it sounds like. It's like, I think you just need like a champion. And what I mean by champion, somebody that, could really take this on, and then have, some support behind it. I see myself as being that support person, right? And maybe bringing some money to it, but yeah, but finding who that champion is to really take this on, you know.
Yep.
That's what we need to find.
Do you agree?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second, on favor, say aye. Thank everybody for coming. Yeah, you guys can stick around and